Today. There's a big bus that went to Agra.
And so are you going to do a little bit of a tour around as well? Like I was talking to you over breakfast. So if you've been at the conference this week and you've arrived into it, you're going to have a reality check when you go out. This is reality, but this is very curated. So we have a very yummy panel for you this morning. We're creating collaborations with trust. And we have some bright and shiny speakers that I have the pleasure of inviting onto the stage in just a moment. If we have, oh yes, I know. I invite the beautiful Elena, coming all the way from Helsinki, Finland, to be with us this morning. She's the managing director and founder of Ferrovalo, a platform that bridges the gap in manpower, solutions, and HR needs for startups and corporates, and like she said yesterday, and everything in between. Anita Duckworth-Bradshaw. Yes! Welcoming Anita. Manju Mohan. Aha! Welcoming the lovely Manju Mohan coming from USA. She's the CEO and co-founder of Ionix Technologies. And she works in the area of process innovation, growth strategies, marketing and sales. It's a pleasure. Lakshmi Bhatia. Deb. Deb Ray. Coming from Australia, an author, facilitator, and resilience coach with an experience of 2 decades in creating and maximizing opportunities for growth. What a pleasure. Bissy? The beautiful Bissy McGregor, life coach and at Atoke Life Springs from USA, is an expert in mastering internal fears and overcoming them to improve self-mastery. Of course, look at her. Aminata from Rwanda. I think she'll join us. It's still early. And if I could initiate this beautiful discussion of reclaiming collaborations with trust, and to invite Elena.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. What a celebration.
These ones are working, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, first of all, to WEF. And I'm delighted, and I feel very, very humble today. Those who were here yesterday and having listening the last speech of yesterday, and it gives the kind of a leverage on the board, like. And now we all have our goals, and I want to talk about goals. Not really continuing the yesterday's speech, but this is my point of view. I have a degree in business. And I have been being in business whole my life. I'm a salesperson, I think, by the nature. And regardless of the title I have been having, I have been in a growth business and therefore doing sales. And what I have learned on my business life is that in order to achieve something, you have to put on specific goals. For me, it works like that the goal is as kind of concrete as possible. Because when it's a concrete, I can make decisions that I can see, okay, there is a goal, I make a decision, I either get closer to that goal or it takes me to sidetrack. If I have to make a decision taking me to the sidetrack, then of course it means that I have to make a new decisions to get me back on the track as well. But that has to be a kind of decision that has been taken at a time. At age of 42, I was expecting my first and last child, a baby boy. And of course, it's a huge question, like how I would bring this little baby to be as a good person. So he hasn't even born yet, and I was thinking, like, how am I going to raise him? Like, how you raise a boy, how you raise any kind of a child to be a good person. And first of all, I had a problem with a good person as a definition. Because good person could be anything. Could be successful at school, could be successful at work, could be successful in different ways of life. And some of these things are actually even opposite to each other to be a good person. So I needed a goal again, something for me that is concrete. And I love travel. My husband doesn't, but we have been together 20 plus years, and that has been okay. I travel and he stays home, like today. And it's very handy having that 8-year-old today. And my goal that was concrete enough for me was that I want to make a decisions with bringing my child up, who is now 8, like I said, that when he turns 18, about that time, we will have a life journey around the world. At minimum 4 months, preferably 1 year. Thinking that I'm going to be 60 when he turns 18. And the whole idea is that we both will want to have that trip together. And that, for me, is kind of a goal that I can understand which questions are those that actually have an impact on our both lives after this time from 0 to 18. And also those questions that do not really have any matter. There is these little obstacles in our lives, in our relationships every day, that we actually make huge issue about it. Will you have a blue t-shirt today or a red one? And they have nothing to do with that goal. So on those ones, let it go. And also there is decisions that we have to make, that we realize that when we do this decision, this will make us a bit further from that goal, but then again, getting back on the track. After being an employee and a manager in different positions, I decided to start my own company, Ferrovalo, which is also about reaching the goals. My business is a platform where independent consultants can be a member and companies can find them to reach their goals. I finish up with a little note, what we have discussed here today as well, that we always say, like, we have to raise those powerful women. I believe that those of us who have sons, we have to be very, very careful and very precise that we will raise strong men. Those strong men that can stand up next to these strong women that we are raising. Thank you.
Exactly. I love that, Elena, because we're always talking about raising strong women. What about the boys? And what about those boys that are able to hold their own in this next generation of empowered women? Because we know that in history, the rise of the divine feminine hasn't happened so radically like it's happening at the moment. So who's going to prep them boys? Thank you for going there. Thank you. Beautiful. If I could invite Manju Mohan, welcoming Manju, coming from the USA, the CEO of Ionix Technologies. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Thank you, thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you all. It's really an honor. to be here in the company of such brilliant and accomplished women here today. So thank you so much for having me. I have great admiration and respect for entrepreneurs, leaders, and game changers who work tirelessly every day just to bring their grand vision to life. Many of them, they strive to make this world a better place for all of us and for our generations to come. As you all know, there are so many ingredients involved in running a successful business or a project. And in today's context, technology is one of those key components. It's become practically impossible to really build or grow or scale a business without the use of some sort of custom technology. And it needs to support the core business functions. So I've made my way into the story of many of these entrepreneurs and game changers by helping them build their technology. And they have a vision, and then I'm able to bring that to life through technology, through my company, Ionics Technologies. And it's been really exciting to be a part of so many of these entrepreneurial journeys, looking through the eyes of these amazing folks, thinking through their business concepts, finding areas where we can optimize, where we can just make the process, automate some processes and so on. So, and ultimately allows them to focus more on their own businesses. So it's been a really amazing journey for me. And I've been in love with entrepreneurship for really as far back as I can remember. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. Both my grandfathers are entrepreneurs. My mom and dad also went the entrepreneurial route, and they tried their hand at so many different businesses. Eventually got to their software company that they started right out of our living room in the early 90s. And myself also, I started a few different ventures and then eventually am in software development at the moment. I've been extremely fortunate to have parents who have always supported me. They've always encouraged me to reach no lower than the stars. To have a husband who's supported me in every way. He makes it possible for me to think grand goals, not only in work life, but also in my family life. And also my 2-year-old son, who really gives me a reason to do all these things and keep going. So, but unfortunately, it's not common for a lot of women to have such an amazing support system that I do. And I feel so blessed. But it's just not common for many women. It's a lot of times women experience just additional societal pressures, societal barriers that bar them from really bringing that leader out from within. And I've taken a stand that I'm going to do my best to support as many women as possible. And help them, and my way of doing it is helping them through technology. I'm really proud to say that currently in my business, more than half of our customers are businesses with women CEOs or founders. And yeah, I'm exceptionally proud of that, and it's been amazing to be part of their journey, and I really hope that I've been able to help them. And I truly believe that if we all did a little bit more to help each other, we could create so many more exceptional women. And so I'd just like to thank everyone who has been a part of my journey and who have supported me to get to where I am. And I hope that everybody will support each other to help others come up in life as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manju, for touching on that, because I really do believe as an entrepreneur myself that it's a discipline. It's a discipline that you practice every day, every moment, and it's empathy-driven. You carry everybody around you. It's community-driven, and it's knowledge-intensive. So it's all of those components working in harmony all the time. Thank you for taking us there. Thank you. If I could invite Deb Ray. It's a pleasure to have Deb with us. coming all the way from the land of Australia. Over to you, Deb.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for getting up early this morning and being here with us
Yes.
this morning.
Yes,
really
exactly.
appreciate it. Yes, and it truly is an honour and a privilege to have the opportunity to speak with you. So I'd like to tell you about my journey in understanding trust and collaboration. And it's a story that has a sad and a tragic beginning, but I promise you that it gets better towards the end. So my journey in understanding trust actually starts with an ending, and that was an ending that was an accident. So my husband and I, we decided to live our dream. We're both from Australia. We were 37 years old. We decided to live our dream of travelling the world. And we had gone overseas. We were living in Poland, and we had been there for just 5 months when there was an accident. My husband was hit by a car on a pedestrian crossing one morning, and he died that night. So as you can imagine, from that moment, everything about my life changed. My whole world was blown apart. And in actual fact, it meant that I didn't trust the world anymore. I thought that because my husband and I were good people and we did good things, that good things would happen to us in the world. But in actual fact, it was the opposite. Something devastating happened, and I didn't trust the world anymore. I didn't think that the world was a safe place. And I also no longer trusted myself. I had no idea how I was going to manage all of this by myself. I didn't understand grief or how I would deal with loss, and I just didn't think I was capable of getting myself through this. So I spent some time trying to understand grief and loss, and I went back to university. I did a master's in some grief and loss subjects, and then I talked to lots of other young widows about what they were doing and how they were trying to manage. And someone suggested to me that I should start a support group for young widows. And I said, no, I can't do that. I don't understand what's happening to me. How could I possibly be any use to everyone else? I have so much fear, there's so much I don't understand, there's so much uncertainty, I've made so many mistakes. How could I possibly be useful for anyone else? And of course, that's why I was useful for someone else. When we came together, we had a shared goal. We all didn't know what to do, but we all knew that we wanted to find a way through and that we wanted to be able to rebuild our lives. We were all frightened and dealing with all kinds of uncertainty and stress. We all had made lots of mistakes, but we were willing to share them. And we had lots of crazy ideas about what we could do next. And because we were willing to share them and share that vulnerability, we were actually able to develop a strong bond and some really meaningful relationships as part of that group, which meant that we were able to achieve our own goals as well as things that we didn't think possible. And one of those was that I ended up writing a book about dealing with grief as well. And in my work now, thank you. In my work as a coach and working with organisations, I see this a lot, where there are teams, where there are collaborative processes in the workplace, but they're not built on trust. People don't have a shared goal. They're competing against each other. They're not allowed to make mistakes. They have to get things right the first time, and any sign of vulnerability is seen as a weakness. And it means that these teams aren't able to create meaningful relationships. They're not able to make anything that's sustainable over the long term. So my call to you today is to do that, to build teams in your workplaces and in your homes, to work collaboratively with groups that are based on trust. Allow people to make mistakes. Allow people to talk about the things they don't understand and the vulnerabilities and the uncertainty. Create a space where people can learn from their mistakes together, where they have a shared goal that they're willing to work on as a team. And when we create that space, then things can happen that we thought were not possible right in the beginning. And also allow that for yourself. Trust yourself. Know that it's okay for you to make mistakes, that in actual fact it's from those mistakes that you will learn, and you will have to achieve a capacity to develop incredibly meaningful relationships that will last way beyond anything that you thought possible. And when we do that for ourselves and for others, then we can achieve things that we truly never thought could ever be possible. Thank you.
So brave, Deb. So brave. And not just what happened with you and how you created your life post that, but to talk about building an ecosystem where you allow people to make mistakes and then thrive from that point on. So beautiful. Thank you. If I could have the beautiful Bissy McGregor speak with us, a life coach at Atoke Life Springs from USA.
That is me. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. How many people have made contacts this week? Have gotten lots of contacts? Lots of contacts? How many people have made connections? Very good. How many people are hoping for collaborations? Fantastic. So we're in the right place then. So I'm hoping that what I'm going to share with you today, these principles are going to be meaningful for you and helpful for you. So as a superstar in the corporate environment in America, I built strong, unorthodox teams that worked very well together and lasting relationships. And these 3 principles helped me. When I was caught up in the whirlwind of answering the calling of my heart, which is to lead other people to what God's called them to do, and thinking about answering that calling or staying in this corporate environment that had this financial cushion, these 3 principles saved me. And then when I was in the depths of that sad, dark space where I was facing head-to-head, face-to-face with a divorce from the love of my life, these 3 principles saved me. So they are compassion, honesty, and accountability. So compassion. If you look in a dictionary, compassion says it's this sympathetic, this conscious feeling for someone else's distress, right, or suffering, with a desire to wanting to alleviate them from that suffering. But what I think it's missing is the word self, because it starts with you first. You must be willing to have compassion for yourself first and then for somebody else. And most people say, compassion is going to make me look weak. It's self-indulgent, it's self-centered. On the contrary, what it does is it allows you to stop that cycle of being hard on yourself, beating yourself up. It simply allows you to be gentle with yourself, being able to see your own innocence. Compassion for yourself is being able to say, I did the best I could with the resources and tools that I had at the time. And that's it. This creates an open mind for you, and it expands your heart. It allows you to connect with people. Compassion for somebody else is being able to hold space for them to fully express themselves. So when you have opportunities for collaborations, remember compassion. Number 2, honesty. If you want to shift anything in your life, anything, or create true collaborations, you must be willing to tell the truth, again, with yourself first, and then with other people. And honesty comes after compassion for a reason, right? Because I know you know people in your life, and please do not look at your friend next to you that says, I tell you the truth. I just tell it like it is. Without an ounce of compassion, you're not telling the truth. You're being mean. You are being mean. So honesty without compassion is being mean. If you are willing to stick to the facts of the matter, it's you looking in your toolbox and saying, I have X, Y, and Z. And that's my truth. And with compassion, you don't have to pretend like I have X, Y, and Z and 1, 2, 3 in the kitchen sink. And when you're honest with other people Again, this just opens up what? It breeds trust. When you have trust, you have cooperation. When you have cooperation, you have loyalty. And this is how it works. Number 3, accountability. For me, accountability is a mindset. It says things happen because of me, not in spite of me. Accountability is that willingness to commit to whatever it takes to get the results that you want. It's that thing that makes you look in that toolbox and say, since you've gifted yourself compassion and honesty, I have X, Y, and Z, but I need 1, 2, 3. Now, how can I fill up my toolbox? It gives you the opportunity to ask yourself powerful questions, and I like to call them what and how questions with an I and an action. What can I bring to this collaboration? How can I make an impact in this world? And again, accountability comes last. It's not first, because if it is first, and especially women here, we are not going to know what is for us to take on. We tend to take on everybody else's responsibility. But when you've gifted yourself compassion and honesty, you have with much more clarity what's yours to take over. And when you're willing to be accountable to your actions, your feelings, your words, then you can choose your words, your thoughts, your choices differently. And in here lies the true power to transform and create true collaborations. So I invite you, over the next couple of days, your next connections, if you have an opportunity to collaborate, try on these principles. Compassion, help me out here. Honesty, accountability. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Bissy, for helping us create a really beautiful new toolkit with a new dictionary, which is all coming out of a place of trust. How powerful. Thank you so much. And with that, actually, we do have a speaker that is going to be called on, a special speaker in a moment. But because you left us on that note, let's do a little exercise of collaboration. So what we should do, I recommend, is that all of us, we take a walk and find somebody in this room that we haven't connected with before and offer them this question: how can I help you? How can we create a collaboration where I am available at your service and you at mine? So go as far away in this room as you can, and us on the stage as well, we'll do the same. Manu, let's go. How can I help you? How can you help me? Hello, girls.
Ladies, I think they're enjoying
Wow, they're
this
happy
session.
networking. Yes.
I saw I couldn't even distract you from the session. You were so ingroomed.
Yes, connections is what we're here for. Hello, let's get back to it. We have each other all day and for the next 4 days. In other good news. Did you make a new friend?
That was
Aww. Do you want to cheer for your new friend? That's it?
That's it?
Yeah. Was she beautiful inside out? Or he? Yeah? And I hope you guys can find something to do together. Something beautiful, yeah? And then please do share, send us feedback about what came out, what blossomed. And then we have, beautiful. Let me bring to you the queen of our hearts, Dr. Harbeen Arora, in flesh and blood herself. We'd like to present awards to these amazing, radiant, beautiful soul sisters sitting on the stage. I'd like to call upon Alina Liu to accept her honor as an exceptional woman of excellence at the Women Economic Forum in New Delhi. A sister from Finland, Manju Mohan, please accept your honor as an exceptional woman of excellence on day 3 of the Women Economic Forum in India. Debre, we congratulate you for the woman that you are and the exceptional leader of excellence that you are. Bissy McGregor. You are an exceptional woman of excellence, Bissy. Ladies, I request you to come up for a photo with Harbeen. We are family.